Hey guys, it's Danny Bell. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today so far. Guys, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. We are finally doing the final tour of our Farmcore island of Sugarbelle. What? Oh my gosh, it's been super past you guys, and I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to this. I just wanted to make sure and say thank you so much, you guys, for joining me on this Sugarbelle journey. It's been amazing, and I have so thoroughly enjoyed sharing this island and the growth of it together with you guys. It's been a long journey this time around. Let's take a look at the map, because for any of you that haven't had the chance to dream to the dream address yet, I have it listed here at the bottom of the map for you, along with the lineup of all of the Sugarbelle villagers. I won't go through them one by one, but we'll probably bump into at least a couple of them along the way. If any of you happen to dream to the address, I would absolutely love to see any of the photos you might take along the way for Sugarbelle, so feel free to tag me. You can find me on Instagram at Peppy Crossing Play. Okay, so first things first, I left you guys some prezzies. Yay, prezzies! They're right here by the airport for you. Just a few little outfits and such to make it a little bit more exciting for the Farmcore vibe. Here is our train. For anybody that has been watching from the beginning of Sugarbelle, this is one of the first builds we did. I was super excited about how this came together, and oh my gosh, Tipper! Tipper, let's talk, girl. Oh, she likes what we're wearing. Yes, it is an original design by Katie from Skypia. Thank you for noticing, Tipper. Shout out to Katie from Skypia. I absolutely adore this dress design. I will be sure to put all of the custom designs used on the island of Sugarbelle in the description of the video, along with this adorable dress created by Katie. I absolutely love it. It's so precious, and I'm really, really proud to be able to wear it today on our tour. So this part of the island, getting back to our train build, this was our station that we built. So this island, when we picked it from the very beginning of Sugarbelle, it has like a micro entrance. I don't know what was up with that, but I really, really liked the placement of the plaza, so we ended up choosing it, and I'm really happy with how it came together with the train tracks. I think it worked pretty well for having such a small entrance. Over here, if you get a chance to visit this section, this is just sort of a rundown rustic gas station. I kind of wanted it to be, I guess, a little bit run down and old-fashioned, but I also had to like highlight the ridiculously high gas prices we've all been experiencing here lately, and yeah, that was sort of the take on that. I added that after the fact, so if you check out the build video, that part is not in there, but I was really happy with how this build came together as well. Let's head back up through here, because I'm thinking let's kind of take a walk through the town area first before we head over to the opposite side of the island. So we didn't do a whole lot with the Able sisters. That's one thing that I really enjoy doing usually in Animal Crossing, but we didn't do a whole lot with it. Just sort of threw a bench in the front. We did put Norma's house next door, and I was pretty happy with how this came together. We turned her house into a little ice cream shop, so if you happen to dream to the address and Norma is home, you can pop in and hopefully see the interior. Now, from what I understand, when you visit a dream address, it'll sort of randomize which villagers are home and which ones are outside walking around. So if you have a specific villager in mind whenever you're visiting anybody's dream address and you wanted to see the interior of their house but they're not home, I believe if you reload the address, there will be a randomized different bunch of villagers inside and outside. Alright, so before we get ahead of ourselves, we have our little post office over here, and a lot of these faux buildings that we created in town, I do have specific build videos in the Sugarbelle playlist if you guys wanted to see specifically details of how we created these spaces, but the idea was to create outdoor faux buildings that could be used as interactive builds that are tied directly to the interior builds of our house. So that was kind of the idea behind this. I did put a few little seating things in this barbershop, but there's definitely a whole build inside the house for you guys to take a peek at if you have a chance. We have our little antique store. This is probably one of my faves. I absolutely love antiquing IRL. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Definitely something that my husband and I enjoy to do together, and yeah, totally love it. I was really pleased with how this building came together, and I had to go with the creepy baby carriage, guys, because y'all, I swear there's always a creepy baby carriage at every antique store. Alright, now I didn't do a video on this. It was just a little bit of a zhuzh up that we did here on the completed museum. Yeah, just adding a couple of display cases and then some of the artifacts from the museum, and then a little area just showing that we have Brewster here and highlighting that he's new to the game. Okay, so next let's head over here. This is the farmers market area. This is actually one of the builds we did later on in Sugarbelle. So this area was a few few different things actually. Sugarbelle we've had for a really long time, guys. We've had it probably since, oh, let me think, like maybe middle of September. It was an island that took us through the holidays. So this area actually used to be leading up to the ski lodge area. We used to have a giant, I don't know what you'd call it, like a little ice walkway leading up to a ice fishing area and a ski lift over here back behind me. So we've completely overhauled this area since spring, and I was really excited with how the farmers market came together. I figured it was something that was a necessity for a Farmcore themed island, that I was on the list of things I wanted to do for our island. And then, oh, it's Ava. Hi, Ava. How are you? I do love her. She's so sweet. We made Ava's area, of course, chicken coop themed, which makes total sense. And I tried to kind of set out a lot of the little chicken items. These little zodiac roosters are one of my faves. I just did a video recently on all of the villager yard ideas for Farmcore, so you'll see all of these yards in that video as well. It's sort of a compilation, so I'll go a little bit faster as we kind of peruse through the villager areas here, since if you're interested, you're more than welcome to check that video out. But I wanted to create an orchard area for Tangy. We transformed the ski lift area into this little fruit stand and just sort of created a vertical style orchard for her, because I wanted to do something that was fairly traditional but didn't want it to be completely basic. Why does Tangy have a thought bubble? Tangy, what is going on? Why are you sad? No. No! Tangy, don't say it! Oh my gosh! Guys, I'm gonna cry. Tangy's not allowed to leave. We've had her. She was like, I think, third villager we got besides our starters. Oh, Tangy, I'm sorry. You're on lockdown, girl. You cannot go. You're one of my faves. And one of the reasons we actually picked Tangy was because oranges are the native fruit of the island. And when we found Tangy pretty quickly on one of the first few, I think it was actually the first villager hunt now that I think about it, I couldn't leave her behind because, yeah, she's too precious and I absolutely adore her. So yeah, sorry Tangy, you are not leaving. It's not even an option, so don't ask again. Anyways, let's head up here. I just wanted to take a quick peek. We're gonna run inside of her house first because I wanted you guys to see the interior. I had to do a little bit of time hopping, so bear with me. We ended up overhauling Tangy's house into this little grocery store, and I'm really, really happy with how this worked out. I tried to sort of preserve some of the look of her house. The flooring and wallpaper is the same type of flooring and wallpaper that she gets as her default decorum, but we kind of switched things around, added these adorable shopping carts, and then lots of the little shelving, canned goods, things like that, fruits and veggies, obvi. And yeah, just kind of adding a few little things to make it look like the type of shop that you can sort of pop in, grab some produce and a few necessities and head back out. But yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit different with all of the villager houses. So if you're perusing around, all of the villager houses have been overhauled with the 2.0 update. So they should all sort of have like a special touch decorum going on in each of their houses. I won't highlight all of them in the tour video today. We'll probably just pop into a couple of their homes if they happen to be here. But other than that, if you're wanting to check that out to get a few ideas, I do have a video in the Sugarbelle playlist as well that's all of their house interiors for ideas on villager home makeovers. So if you're looking for some ideas for your island, please do check that out. We, of course, for Tangy's build added a lot of the barrels. I love these stacked barrels. They're one of my new fave items from the 2.0 update, as well as adding some of the specialty path. I really, really like this vintage floral pathing. It's kind of scattered throughout Sugarbelle. So again, if you've watched any of the videos, I do tend to put the custom design codes in the description of the videos for those specific builds, but for this video I will try to compile all of them in case you guys are looking for any of these codes for yourselves to use on your islands. We created a little pastry stand over here by Tangy's house just to kind of fill in this area, because I don't know about you guys, but I do struggle sometimes with the small little pockets and the nooks and crannies all over the island that kind of transition from area to area. So yeah, if you're looking for any of those types of ideas, I would be more than happy to put together a video for that as well if you'd like. Just let me know in the comments. Okay, so for the secret beach, we went a little basic. We put a couple of the ruined arches here, as well as some cactus and a couple of the wheat field items with a little treasure map and just some of the creepy skeleton bones from the update. Just kind of kept it a little simple, but I'm happy with how that came together. And then we did a few of these little areas. I did not do a full-on build video for some of these transitional areas, but there are some shorts videos, so check out the shorts playlist if you're kind of looking for a few little ideas for small areas to fill in for your island. We have a land bridge right here that sort of overlooks the fruit stand area and the orchard, and then this area is actually where Shino lives. I wasn't 100% sure what we were going to do with this area because when we originally created it, we did a build that was more winter related, so it was kind of nice to be able to fix this up for spring, and I figured Shino could really use a nice little spot for her house. We customized her house in a different color. I wanted it to sort of pop amongst the cherry blossom trees. So let's head inside. I really love Shino. I was really pleased when we found her on a villager hunt, so let me know in the comments, do you guys have Shino on your island, and what do you think about her? Are you happy that you picked her? I definitely have no regrets, for sure. Look how cute. She's so cute. Oh, I forgot about the fishing tournament coming up. Yeah, I'm not 100% I'm going to participate in that if I'm being honest. I don't know. Do you guys do the fishing tournaments? I tend to not. I feel kind of guilty about that. The first time I played through Animal Crossing New Horizons when it first launched, I was all about the tournaments. I was trying to catch all the bugs to collect everything for the museum. And yeah, I think this time around I've gotten a bit lazy, and sometimes when there's a tournament bug or fish or whatever, I tend to sort of ignore it, but it's still sometimes fun to do, so we'll see. So with her area, we sort of made it a zen area, added a lot of little yoga items, and just so she has a little sauna, just some real zen vibes in here, and sushi because, oh my gosh, I love sushi in real life. It's so good. One of my faves. All right, let's head back out. I'm going a little fast in this, guys, so I apologize. I really sincerely appreciate all the kind messages you guys sent. It really warmed my heart. I had a few of you mention that you specifically wanted to see a tour of the island, and thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, and so I'm really happy to be able to oblige and just kind of walk through here so you guys can see it, because I know it's different when you see it in bits and pieces versus all together when it's completed. Alright, so this is the gyroid garden. This actually is a build we did before the 2.0 update. We kind of took a gamble, guys. When we picked the Farmcore theme for this island, it was before Nintendo did the Nintendo Direct, the famous one that we were all just like bawling on the floor and pure joy because we could not believe all of the goodies that they were bestowing upon us. But we actually did this build prior to having the gyroids and having the farm items and the veggies. So we took a little bit of a risk, but I'm really glad we did because I'm super happy with how everything kind of played out. Okay, this area, this is sort of meant to be like an abandoned, I don't know what you'd call it, like an old farm. That was kind of the idea behind it. I tried to use as many rusted items as I could, anything that sort of had that old worn out look to it. Shabby to the extreme for sure. That was kind of the idea. I've actually grown to like the rusted items so well. I really kind of wish we had more customization options available for more items in the game that are the rusted options. So Nintendo, if you're out there, please give us more rusted items. I would totally love that. I've seen so many brilliant islands done in the Animal Crossing community with a lot of the old sort of abandoned look and rusted parts and all of those things, and I'm sure that we would all super appreciate more rusty old things. All right, so this was one of the first builds we did on the island. This is the cowboy campsite. This was a fun build. It was actually kind of getting us into the Farmcore vibes. I wanted to do a little bit of cowboy style Western flair on this side of the island. In particular with the beaches. The beaches are always a struggle, guys. I don't know, the struggle is real with the beaches, especially the vertical beaches like this one. I used a lot of the wheat field. We incorporated cactus and then of course the ruined arches. I sort of tried to create the look of a little Alamo area over here. We were a little bit limited. I couldn't quite do a full-on building because of the limitations of the rock, given that we can't terraform on it, but I'm still pleased with how it came together. I just sort of wanted a spot to sort of that could be seen from a distance as you're approaching the area. So yeah. All right, we're gonna head over here. So we are kind of coming over to the area of the beach that turns into, I don't know what you call it. I'm hesitant to call it a nautical area because we definitely don't have much nautical action going on Sugarbelle, but I wanted to sort of create an area back over by where Captain is because when we got the 2.0 update, that was, I think, all the rage. One of the things that I think was huge in the Animal Crossing community is doing dock builds, finding cute little fancy ways to decorate our docks, and having the arrival of Captain, I think, definitely shook that up a bit. So we recreated this little area for Captain with his little tour flag and just some diving accoutrements to make it a little more handy if we happen to want to go for a little swim or anything like that. But yeah, happy with how this came together. I ended up filling this out. So if you check out the build video, it's a lot more empty in this area. I was able to get my hands on some of the yachts after the fact. So I sort of rearranged it and then tried to find a way to sort of seamlessly, as best I could, transition this into Roswell's Bayou area. Roswell was our first camper on Sugarbelle, for anybody that missed that, and I really didn't expect to keep him actually as a long-term villager on the island. Being that he's an alligator, I wasn't 100% on how we could infuse him into the Farmcore theme, but all in all, I'm really pleased with how it worked out. We ended up creating this little fish fry area. His original interior on his house was originally this little fish fry shack. It had more of a cityscape vibe to it, so we redid that and sort of turned it into more of a country bayou look versus anything that had the skyscrapers in the background. But yeah, just kind of wanted to create this area with the creepy swamp and of course the skeleton over here because yeah, he's an alligator. And then we infused a lot of the glowing moss that I was able to get from the Happy Home Paradise DLC. So yeah, really excited with the introduction of that item as well. It's been fantastic, and I can only imagine that anyone doing fairycore or anything that's sort of mystical for the theme on their island, like this moss is just off the hook for that too. Rozzy, how are you, buddy? He looks so happy. I really... Oh, he's wearing his bow tie shirt. See, he can keep it classy. Even an alligator can keep it classy. And he's smug, which I think is perfect for that look for him. He's rocking it. And I love seeing the villagers wear the outfits that I give them. Are you guys the same way? I just think it's so cute when they proudly display the items we give them as gifts or wear the little bow ties and things that we give them. So we just added a lot of brambly and mossy things to this build. I changed up the wallpaper and the flooring just to kind of create a look that it was, I don't know, I guess matching the outside of his yard as well a little bit better. But we added in a lot of the new food items like the crates of fish over here in the corner, some of the little french fries, things like that. So yeah. So what do you guys like the best about the 2.0 update? I know that was a huge update and we sort of talked about it quite a bit when we were still doing builds around the island. What's your favorite thing that we gained from the update? Let me know in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys and what you think. Okay, so over here we did a sugarcane garden for Roswell's area. I kind of wanted to do specific areas around the island that had different crops associated with each of the villagers, and I figured sugarcane was perfect for the bayou area. Plus, I love the shape of it. It's a really cool plant. I'm really excited they gave that to us. Elmer, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. He's so cute. I love him. He is a lazy type, and guys, I was really pleased with Elmer. I wasn't sure that we would ever let Poppy leave, but he did ask to leave, and Elmer was the one we found on the villager hunt as a replacement, and I really like him. I don't know if he should really be roaming around where there's an alligator, but yeah. Best of luck, buddy. All right, we're just gonna cut back through here. I wanted to cut through town, and I think we'll probably wander over towards the homestead area next. So this is the area that we created directly behind resident services. I wanted to have sort of an entrance, and I don't know, as far as planning new islands, when we first started this island, one of the things I tried to consider is I like to look at the layout of the land and sort of picture in my mind what areas I want to do with what, if that makes sense. And when I saw this chunk of land here in the middle, directly behind the plaza, instantly I just thought, okay, this is where I want the house to go eventually. Now that doesn't mean that's where I usually put things when I begin. That's just sort of my process. I know everybody has their own thing. Some people like to completely plan everything in advance from scratch on a map or anything like that. I think those are wonderful tools. I really do, but I tend to kind of fly by the seat of my pants. So I guess I'm less of a planner and more of a free spirit, but I really that's one of the things I love about the Animal Crossing community. There's so much diversity, so many just wonderful creative people that I have just so appreciated getting to know, and I've never felt so welcome by a group of people. It was just super heartwarming, and I completely appreciate everyone from the bottom of my heart and all of the kindness you've all shown me. Okay, so for this area, this is actually over by Elmer's house. This is his little horse area. We have a horseshoe set up over here as well as a track that sort of circles his house. I kind of wanted to use the in-game path. So if you check out the map, there's actually a ring around his house. I tried to do that as best I could with some of the builds just so that it would show up a little bit better on the map, because it is a bit of a bummer that the custom designs don't actually show unless you have them either overlaid on top of the custom design path. So This area is sort of brambly. I kind of kept it this way intentionally. The weeds sort of grew in and I liked how they looked, so I left them. But of course you can create your own version of this for sure if you want a more manicured, groomed look. I think builds like that could probably look great either way, honestly. Let's head over here. I'm gonna kind of sneak back past the horseshoe area. And I'm gonna head over, this is Tipper's area. We did a milking area and cow pasture for Tipper. I don't know, I saw this is not my original idea. I did see this at one point on Pinterest, so I apologize. I forget who the original pinner was on that, but I did see quite a while back somebody used the Taurus bathtubs. This was, I think, even before the 2.0 launch when we had any vegetables. So Farmcore, I don't think was quite as prevalent back then, but I really loved the idea, so I was really thankful to be able to honor the original creator and sort of do my own version of that. And then we created this milking parlor over here, especially with the glass bottles. I love that we can actually do a custom label on the glass bottles. That was thrilling to me. I found this cute little milk plaque in the portal and used that all over the place in this area. And then just sort of incorporating the beach. I have a really hard time with the beaches, guys. I'm just gonna say it. I do have a hard time. I know that a lot of people are really creative and talented as far as blocking the beach off and sort of making it inaccessible so that they don't have to spend as much time on the beach, which I think actually works really well. But I wanted to sort of use the area as part of Tipper's Yard, and so that was a new challenge for me. Even though I've done, I think this is my 4th island on Animal Crossing, it was definitely a challenge trying to work that in and sort of merge the two areas. And look at Ketchup, check her out. She's getting her a muffin at the bakery. That is so precious. I love Ketchup so much. She was one of the ones we got in the beginning too, and I have no regrets. Like, totes love her. Totally. Okay, this is another faux building that we did. This actually came about, I was experimenting with some of the different items. I know that's probably something we were all fiddling around with after the 2.0 update, trying to figure out the size and height of all the different new items and how they can kind of fit together in a way that makes sense and looks right. So just been playing around with some of the faux buildings. This is our feed and seed store, and I gotta say, I made the feed and seed sign myself. So if you're looking for that, it is on the portal. I don't usually make my own custom designs, so I'm a little embarrassed because there's so many talented artists out there that are fully capable of making the most amazing custom designs. But I was able to at least present a little bit of something to the Animal Crossing design community. All right, let's head in this direction. I want to go over to Ketchup's house next. So we turned her area into a huge tomato garden. I figured it was perfect for her. I was really pleased with the introduction of the veggies because when we started the Farmcore island, we did not have the veggies. And so my plan when we got Ketchup was to actually most likely be using some of the trees bounty lamps. Yeah, that's what they're called. So I was going to be placing a lot of the trees bounty lamps over here in lieu of tomato plants, but lo and behold, when we got the vegetables, it just made it even easier to be able to decorate like this, and it looks a lot better. But yeah, I think we did what we could back in the day, right? We're going to be telling everybody back in the day, before we had actual vegetables and Animal Crossing New Horizons, we had to actually place lamps as faux veggies, guys. This is where we were at like a year ago, if you can believe it or not. Okay, back over here behind Tipper and Ketchup's house, we have this sprawling wheat field. I love this concept. I think having the wheat field item, I know you kind of have to order it in excess to be able to achieve something like this, but I think it's really worth it. It's really worth the bells and the time. It's a little tricky to have to place all of the squares because they behave like a leaf pile. You can place them, but you can't move them by pushing them or twisting them. So it's been a challenge. It definitely was interesting getting all of this set, but I was really happy with how this all came together. I love the concept of having an old-fashioned looking barn in the traditional red, of course, and then the windmill, and just having the little seedlings and the seed bags and things like that. A proper seed bag in the game, I think, makes things look a lot more believable for builds like this. We have a little wood pile with the chainsaw and the chopped down tree, just to kind of create an idea. I like to create little spaces on the island when I can of action things that sort of give you the idea that someone was over there working previously. Anything like that I think sort of is interesting, and that's some of the inspo that I try to draw on when I'm trying to think of builds for the island. All right, so this is another beach area. We turned this into a honeybee, I don't know what you call it, like an apiary area where it's beehives and honey for sale over here. I wanted to create sort of an interactive area over here where you can actually use the kitchen, because I think it is helpful having the storage sheds, oh my gosh, in the kitchens, just to be able to access those sorts of things outside and place them wherever we need to has been huge for the Animal Crossing community. I absolutely think that is so much more convenient. It just goes to show that I think Nintendo does listen to us. I just wish they would listen to us and continue to update the game, because I want more content, and I know most of you guys probably do as well. So we'll see. It sounds like it's not gonna happen, but hey, we can always dream, right? Okay, this section over here, this is our winery. I love this area. This has been probably the most fun I had in a while doing a build. It was a little bit out of my element. I wanted to get a little bit better at creating buildings and things like that on the game, just because that's been something that's been huge since the 2.0 update. I do really love and appreciate all of the items that they added from the update, like the pergolas with all of the draping vines, and of course any of the ruined items that have the vines sort of twisted around them. I think this has just been great. It's brought a lot of extra new creativity to all of the builds that we've been doing on our islands and showing off on Pinterest and social media. It's just been a complete blast, and it always boggles my mind what one person sees that they can do with the item and another person can come up with a totally different concept with the same exact item, which I think is one of my favorite parts about being in the Animal Crossing community. It is so much fun. Your creativity just flows so easily, and it's just been so much fun sharing all of that amongst each other and getting to know each other. It's been great. All right, let's head this way. We're gonna go over to the house. I think I'm gonna pop in and do the tour for the house before we move on to the last few sections of the island. This was the homestead build. I wanted to sort of bring all of the veggies together in this area just to create the look of a home garden. I love the rabbit figurine over here. I really like all of the different leafy textures of all of the vegetables and the wheat. And then I did actually put down some of the potted plants and the mum cushions as a nod to the olden days of when we used to decorate our farms that way. I wanted to create a faux barn over here just to incorporate it into, like I said, our interactive builds that we'll be checking out here in a sec. So we'll check that out in a minute, but I did create this little lavender patch. I love the little umbrella custom designs that look like crates or baskets. So much love and respect to all the artists out there that take time to create all of these amazing custom designs. They really do make a huge personalized difference when creating your island, whether it's using the pathing or just customizing tablecloths or anything like that. I think it really makes a huge difference when creating a personal touch to an island and theme. All right, so let's head inside. So as I said before, I kind of wanted to do something different with the house this time. Instead of just doing the basic type of rooms that you would see for a house, I was tempted to do a farmhouse, but I wanted to make it interactive. So I sort of created the interior builds for each of the faux buildings in the area by the town where we were by the plaza. So if you come visit the house, this first room is actually the antique mall, like the inside of the antique store. I try to think of everything that I've seen actually IRL, like shopping for different antiques. I think there's always a bunch of random different old things that you kind of find as you're walking through and seeing things. It's usually a little bit of a mess. So that's sort of the vibe I was going for. It probably lost me some points on Happy Home Academy, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna head into the next room. This one over here is tied to the post office. Now I did originally want to do this with a Mario pipe so that we could directly pop in behind one of the buildings and then pop into the house. I just couldn't seem to work the green pipe in. The Mario pipe was just glaringly, it didn't fit. I really tried, guys. I thought that would be a great way to sort of get you right from the downtown area into the house itself. So I apologize. You'll have to sort of just walk there and check everything out that way. It just didn't kind of come together. But hey, if you are looking to do interactive builds similar to this and you can find a way to do that, let me know. I would love to see how you worked it out and what you did to sort of disguise it and make it work in your favor, because it was a struggle. Okay, let's head in this area. This should be the barber shop. This space, yeah, here's the barber shop. So we did a little mini interactive section for the barber shop in town, but I just liked a lot of the items and I thought we could kind of create this sort of, I don't know, manly, masculine sort of vibe going on here with the old-fashioned scissors and mustache. I just thought it was perfect. I really love the custom design that I found for that. So like I said, I'll put all of the custom designs that we used on the island of Sugarbelle in the description of the video. So if you guys are looking for some of these to use for yourselves, they will be readily available. But yeah, we found a use for the South Pole, guys. Yay! Really thrilled with that because I've been hanging on and hoarding that item from Gulliver forever, and I was really excited to use it. So that was a plus. Let's head over here. We just have a couple of other spaces I wanted to show you before we head back outside and finish up the tour here pretty soon. In the back room over here, we ended up doing sort of like a wine tasting area. There is a small little wine tasting area off the back side of the winery on the island outdoors, but I wanted to create a little space that was just sort of warm and homey, something that you would see at a winery up on top of a hill where you can just sort of sip some wine, taste some homemade bread, and have a little bit of a lunch and just relax. That was sort of the idea behind it, so I liked how it came together. I think a build like this works really well in a lot of different themed islands, so that's one of the things I like about that. A winery I think could work really well if you have a town core island. Even if you have sort of like a European style island, it would probably just be like perfecto for that sort of vibe. I live in a rural area, and I know there's several different wineries over in the spot where I live, and so it's just really nice. It kind of reminds me of home, so I was really excited to be able to infuse that into the Farmcore theme of Sugarbelle. Okay, so let's head out. Let's go. I think we still have to check out the upstairs and the basement before we head out and finish up the tour. Let's head down in the basement. Like I said, each of these rooms are sort of tied to a faux building outside on the island, with the exception of the feed store is actually tied to the interior of Elmer's house. So this area, I wanted to sort of create the concept of the stable that's in the yard of the house, right outside here, that yellow barn area. I wanted to create a little stable, so using the springy ride-ons I thought would be fun. I just really truly adore that item. It's one of my faves from the very beginning of the game, and I don't know why, it just excites me. It's sort of the kid in me, I guess. I don't know, I just love it. So kind of put this together, created the lighting so that it would look a little more bright, to create the effect that it looks like it's more outdoors. All in all, I was pretty happy with how it came together. Okay, let's check out one more room. The upstairs I sort of reserved for sort of like a studio apartment for myself because I wanted to make sure I had space that I could decorate and then have the bed that I wanted for the dream uploads. This is actually a pretty similar design to what we had when we were doing an indoor build during the 12 Builds of Christmas series around the holidays. I redid a few of the things just to kind of change the tonality. It was sort of still this white brick color, but I wanted to sort of create a warmth but still keep it kind of like open and airy because it is springtime on the island. I wanted it to still be sort of fresh and clean, and I really liked this herringbone floor as one of my faves. I don't know, it's like a really good item to use when you're pulling together a lot of different shades in a room, so really happy with how it came together. I love this new bed that we have, guys, with a little I guess it's like a quilt pattern that we can use. There's a few different color variations of it, but I was really excited to use that too. Okay, so that is the house. I'm going to head back outside. I think there might be just a few little spots that I wanted to share with you on the island before we finish up the tour. But again, I just wanted to say thank you so much, you guys, from the bottom of my little heart. I truly mean it. I've so appreciated all of you guys that came on the Sugarbelle journey with me. It has been so much fun doing this Farmcore Island. I have to say, I am not planning on deleting Sugarbelle. I love it so much. I had to decide to keep it. So we will be doing a new theme here soon. Ava, oh my gosh, check her out singing her little heart out. She is like Mariah in the booth over here, guys. How precious is that? I absolutely love it. Sing like no one's watching, right? That's how it should be. Okay, so just wanted to finish up. There were just a couple villager areas that we didn't get to see before we end the tour for the day. This is Agnes's Yard. I love this new trend that's been going around on Animal Crossing community, social medias, and things like that, using the piggy bank as little pigs. Oh my gosh. I think truthfully, when we got the piggy bank item, that was instantly what I thought. Just because we had already started a Farmcore island, I kind of had that on the brain, so I was really excited to bring that together. And then this idea, this is a concept actually that comes from Dana's Crossing. Check her out on Instagram. She's a fantastic designer. All of her islands are completely stellar. So just completely honored to be able to create my own twist on that concept that she had on her island. Okay, so this is actually the bridge overlook just past Dom's house. This connects to the orchard area, actually, over by Tangy's house. So I'm just going to cut through here as we sort of meander our way back towards the airport area. So as I was saying earlier, I don't plan on deleting Sugarbelle yet at this point in time. I am really blessed to be able to have a secondary switch that we're actually going to be zhuzhing up the old Tropical Island. This is an island that I never featured really on the channel much at all. I love this island. It was the second one I ever did in Animal Crossing. It's sort of like a resort type of island, tropical, all the greenery, things like that. I love the island itself, but I hadn't done anything with it since the 2.0 update. So I kind of decided it would be fun to opt to redo that whole island, changing out a lot of the areas, redoing the terraforming. I'm not going to completely 100% level it, but I am going to be leveling a good chunk of it and then redoing most of the builds on the island. There's probably a few key areas that I plan on keeping, but yeah, so next time we get together, we'll actually be on that island. So I'm really thrilled to share that with you guys. I hope you're excited about the new concept of builds. We're definitely going to be doing some villager hunts because there's a few stale villagers that I think we need to change out on that island. So I'm looking forward to doing more villager hunts with you guys, doing a lot of Tropicore type of builds, a lot of jungle builds as well, because I definitely want the backside of the area to sort of be jungly and all of those things. So really looking forward to sharing that with you. In the meantime, we actually have a couple of subscriber island tours coming up here in the next 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for those. I cannot wait to feature those islands and the talented designers that created them. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me on the Sugarbelle journey. It has been amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for tuning in, watching the videos, subscribing, all of those things. You guys really are just the best. I have the best subscribers in the world, I swear, and I can't thank you enough. I'm really excited to be starting some new builds with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. Once we start up the new builds, what type of content do you like to see the most on the channel? Do you like to see the island tours? Do you like to see the Let's Plays, builds, all of those things? Let me know because I do aim to please. Thank you so much again, you guys, for watching. Wishing you all an amazing day. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.